All right, so it's been a moment, and I can tell you already this one's going to be a longer session. So we're going to talk about John 12, the beginning of the chapter we call the anointing at Bethany. This is where Mary pours oil on Christ's feet and wipes the oil off his feet with her hair. And so, in time where we are, we're 6 days before Passover, 6 days before the cross. Like this is the beginning of the last week of his life as we have it recorded. And Jesus is in Bethany, which we were just there. This is the home of Mary, Martha, and Lazarus. And remember, he just raised Lazarus from the dead. And it seems like there's like a celebratory dinner taking place there. And so remember, when we talk about a table in the Bible, it's not seated like I am. The table's on the floor. It's like ground level, and they would lay on their side, their left side, use their right hand for eating. And so if you could picture that as opposed to them sitting at a table, they are here to celebrate. It's a dinner in honor of Jesus. And no, I think it's easy to conclude it's because of Lazarus and so forth. And so we find in this, like, think about there's people there celebrating, there are people there excited that Christ is there. And there's this moment where Mary, again, Mary, Martha, Lazarus, brothers and sisters, she comes in, and as far as we know, nothing was said, no announcement was made, but she takes a jar of nard, and nard is a fragrant, a what am I looking for? Fragrant ointment. And so we know that this jar is worth, what's in the jar, the nard, is worth a year's wages. So just think about that for a moment. How much you make in a year. Imagine it being in a jar, whatever it is, 100K, 200K, 70K, it doesn't matter. And in a nanosecond, you you use a year's wages that literally is poured out. I mean, if you pour a jar, it takes 2 seconds. And so within seconds, she is taking this ointment and poured it on Christ's feet that is worth a year's wages. No words, no announcement, no, hey, do you mind? Just this raw, unfiltered moment where the house is filled with the fragrance of this. The whole room, again, just imagine if you're sitting at a regular table and someone walks in and just opens a jar of olive oil and pours it on top of somebody. Like we would be in a, what in the world is going on here? Like it would be an amazingly awkward silence for a moment. And this is a moment that I think we really have to dig into to understand the moment, but also understand some words that we throw around incredibly loosely in our church generation as it is. And so this is not called worship. Like Mary's not saying, hey, I'm worshiping. John doesn't say it was worship. Jesus doesn't call it worship. However, when you start digging into what was this, you have to somehow ascribe to it an act of worship. And there was no music. We didn't do two fast songs to do a slow song. But Jesus says that she did this because of his burial, his death. In other words, she knows in this moment, whether it's the buzz in the air, like all the people that are coming against him, she literally, out of love, adoration, out of devotion, wants to do something that somehow ascribes to Christ how much she loves and appreciates him. And it wasn't, pumpkin cheesecake. It wasn't, let me cook his steak perfectly. It was, what could I do that would be so outlandish, not for her attention, but to say to Jesus, I love you. I appreciate and adore who you are and everything you've done in my life. And And Christ says he doesn't say it quite like this, but you can conclude this. She's the only one who gets it right now. Like, she knows I'm about to die. And so when we say this is worship, I think often we go to, graves to gardens, like some cool song. Oh, I love that song. And worship's never used in this passage, no, the original words or anything. And so when she comes in there, this is grief. This is courage. This is sacrifice. This is revelation. And if you don't understand where she's coming from of trying to ascribe incredible worth to Jesus, which the root word of worship is worthship, like friendship. It's I want to do something that ascribes massive worth to you. Then the moment you go, this is worship, I think our mind goes immediately to a Sunday morning 20-minute set to where it's like, oh yeah, I worship. Like, yeah, I love that worship song. And if you don't anchor worship in something like this, you're going to anchor it more in what we've learned in the 21st century of a few songs, and think because you took 20 minutes on a Sunday that you've worshiped. And just like the people in that room completely missed what was going on, I think you and I can completely misunderstand and miss what worship is all about. And so if you were there, she breaks this jar. Like, it's not a mason jar. Like, cracks open this clay pot and pours this oil on Christ. And again, like, her hair is long enough that she undoes it and starts wiping his feet, the oil, with her hair. I don't care who you are. If you're sitting there watching that, that has to disturb you. And I don't mean in a bad way, but oh my gosh, like, what lavish love and appreciation. Like, what is going on here? Like, it would rock you, I think, a little bit to where it's like, wow, I've never loved like that. I've never ever done anything like that. And so she pours this out, and the house is flooded with this smell. The emotions had to be something. Judas says, time out. It's a waste. What's going on? We know in the other gospels that others criticize her for what she's done. And yet Jesus says, leave her alone. Like, everyone thinks she's overboard. She's dramatic. She's inappropriate. Not for this time, Mary. You should have not, like, and Jesus just goes, leave her alone. Just leave her alone. What she's doing is right now. And the truth is, people who don't see what you see will misread what you do from time to time. I grew up in what we would call a Pentecostal church. A lot of non-denom churches have this flavor as well now, to where every now and then somebody just gets really involved in worship. And it's funny, like, if you don't know what that person's story is, if you don't know what they've been through, if you don't know why they're worshiping the way they are, you'll mislabel it. It's too much. It's overboard. It's this. They're drama. And Mary is like, not only have you done something amazing for us, you've done something no one else could do. You brought my brother back from the grave. And that moment is where she comes from to love Christ and say, I want to pour my love out on you in a way that I don't think anything else could say this. And he said, leave her alone. And so Jesus affirms that she got it right. She interpreted the moment. She was preparing him for something. She was more in touch than anybody else. They were having dinner, and Mary didn't worship because she felt something. Mary didn't do this because she understood something, right? Again, this is where worship is often like, man, I don't like that song and all of this. This is devotion because she lived out of that place. It's coming from her heart. It's coming from a place of gratitude. And again, I want to challenge you, regardless of the song, regardless of all of that, like, start challenging yourself to come from a place of depth within, to where you think about, what would your life look like if Christ hadn't saved it? What would your life look like if he didn't set you free from your addictions? What would it look like? Like tap back into what it means that Christ saved you. Not you're going to heaven, of course, awesome. But how different could your life be if he wasn't in it? And come from that place. Look around, look at your marriage, look at your kids, look at your job, look at all the goodness and realize if, as my mom would say, if not for the Lord, there go I. If not for grace, there go I. If not for, there go I. And she wasn't being expressive, she's just being faithful. It's one of the clearest pictures of heartfelt devotion I think you have in the Bible. And so I want to cinch down on this a moment. Like, costly devotion is going to look strange to spectators. However, when you're with other people who they get it, they know, and they also appreciate, that's a different place than that's a waste what you're doing right now, Mary. Judas of all people, right? But that's the heartbeat of this passage, is that it teaches us that real love is willing to go the distance. Devotion sometimes doesn't make complete sense. Obedience may put us in places that are very uncomfortable sometimes. When we see things, revelation will create a response, religion will not, right? Love moves before logic does. Like, this wants to, this is like, hold on, and honor has to be expressed um, while there's appropriate time. Like in this one, Jesus was going to be dead in a week. She couldn't wait. It was now. And you don't wait to give what needs to be given. You give now. And it's like, wow, thank you for the opportunity one more time. And so, when has your devotion to Jesus made anybody uncomfortable of late? And I love this transition. In chapter 11, Lazarus is dead. And Jesus says, remove the stone. And what did they say? It's been 4 days. He stinks. And this is the same group now. A few days ago, we're worried about the smell of a dead man. And now the fragrance of love and devotion fill the air. I love that tension, man. Lazarus stinks, and now devotion smells beautiful. And so the smell of death replaced by the scent of devotion. And so these crowds are here and all of this. And I shared last time, like, they're plotting to kill Lazarus. That one just cracks me up because I don't know what you say. Like, he was dead, he's back. And anyway, and so this devotion kind of disrupts the moment. And the truth is, like, heartfelt, heart guided emotion will always disrupt religion, always. And so what's this mean? Like, what do we do with this? Like, I think it's a mirror for us to realize worship is meant to be far, far more than a song. It's meant to be more than a worship set. It's meant to be surrender. And worship's not an emotion, it's an understanding. Worship is not expressive first, it's responsive first. Like, we come from a place of love and appreciation. And worship's not what I feel, even though I may feel stuff. It's what he means to me. It's the worth of Christ being. I come from that place. And worship's not a schedule, it's a place I pour from. And although nobody called this worship, we will go back and label it to make a sermon out of it. I think it's her devotion that shows us what worship's really supposed to be like. And so, if you could sink down into this moment and take a place at that table and watch Mary walk up and watch her open that jar and pour that on Christ's feet, a year's wages, and just quietly wipe that off with her hair. And if you could take in the moment of what that was really like, I think we'd be on our way to understanding what worship means, worship, to pour out of a place of, I want you to know how much you're worth to me in my life, my marriage, my family, my tribe, and how much of a difference you've made. That is way bigger than a song, and it will make us and those around us uncomfortable sometimes. God bless.